Atrocity Exhibition, Danny Brown. Today I'm talking about Today I'm reviewing Atrocity. Oh my fucking god. Today I'm reviewing Atrocity Exhibition by none other than Danny Brown. It's super unique, as in the beats are kind of really out there. Some of them are super stripped back, but in a way where like you wouldn't think it works. But Danny Brown somehow manages to just flow so well on so many of these beats, even though they're so kind of zany and weird. The album's got a pretty decent runtime. It's like 40-50 minutes. But what makes the runtime and pacing of the album pretty decent is that each song is pretty short, relatively like 2 to 3 minutes for the whole album. The only exception being really dope. Kendrick, there's Absol, and there's Earl Sweatshirt. And it's just this song where they're going back and forth. And it's a really great song in the album, and probably maybe the catchiest. I think it's the most popular, which I mean, I'm not surprised. The whole album is about like Danny Brown and drug abuse. First track basically says this idea. It's called The Downward Spiral, and that's what this album is about. Danny Brown's downward spiral into his reliance and just abuse of drugs. On the second track, Tell Me What I Don't Know, it's one of 2 tracks on the album that shows Danny not rapping and kind of the like cartoonish, Mickey Mouse ass voice, just his normal voice. And I really like those 2 tracks. I think they work as this moment of reflection. It feels as if Danny Brown's like sober for the first time in a while because he's so used to drugs. And then we go right back into the cycle of drug abuse in the following tracks. And that's kind of the whole album. It just gets kind of crazier and crazier with the beats and just Danny's performance as we go down, which kind of shows, his downward spiral. Danny's afflicted by many drugs, lean, cocaine, and of course the final boss of drugs, fentanyl, and of course there's Xanax as well. The songs are all good. I mean, it's kind of hard to hate. My favorite songs in the album are probably the 2 tracks where he's more calm and reflective. My favorite track on the album though is definitely When It Rains. It feels the most chaotic and just all over the place, and it's like Danny's out at a breaking point. My only real issue with the album is sometimes there's some lines throughout the album, and if you listen to it, you know what I'm talking about, where it's kind of a bit too goofy or too cringy for me. And I think Danny Brown can get away with it because of the voice, and he doesn't take himself too seriously. But for me personally, it does take me out of the album for like the half second he says it. It's not a big deal. It's just kind of a nitpick of mine about the album. But my other main problem with the album is Get High. I do enjoy the track Get High, and it's kind of a different track. It's super mellow and slow compared to every single track on this album. It focuses on the use of marijuana, which is different than a lot of the other tracks where they focus on other drugs and more, party drugs you could call them. But I just don't like where it's placed on the track list. I feel like on the track list, especially in the second half of the album, we were kind of building up, getting more and more crazy with each track. And eventually this craziness would reach the final track, Hell For It, where Danny kind of just he says like, yeah, I'm stuck in this cycle, but I'm not gonna let this shit destroy me because I've worked so hard for everything, and he's gonna fight for his fucking life to get out of it or do the best he can. And the building of craziness that we do to get to this track, it feels kind of fucking wasted when there's Get High right before Hell For It. I feel like that choice for track listing was just really weird and unnecessary. Get High is definitely my least favorite track on the album. I feel like it fucks up the whole flow of the album and kind of ruins the amount of craziness that the album was building from the previous track. I would either move it somewhere earlier into the album or just get rid of it from the album entirely. Again, it's not a bad song. I just feel like it feels out of place on the album. I'd probably give Atrocity Exhibition like a 9 out of 10. There are some flaws, but I do love this album. Tell me what you think about the album. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Or, say whatever the fuck you want in the comments. It doesn't really matter. But thank you for watching, and have a good day.